Hi everyone, we are gonna learn today we are gonna learn finding amplitude, period, vertical shift, phase shift of sine function, cosine function, and graphing them with a vertical shift. Okay, so this is the formula for sine function or cosine function. We do have sine here, but it can be cosine here instead. Y equal to a sine b parenthesis theta minus h plus k. Parenthesis, very important. Theta here can be other variables such as x instead of theta. So if you look at my previous video, the previous video did not have a phase shift. Actually did not have a phase shift nor the vertical shift. So the one we studied previous video, a times sine bx. That was form we studied with. And if you put parentheses, that's even safer. So that's what we practiced last lesson. So what has changed since the last lesson? It's a times sine b parenthesis x minus h plus k. So if you look at it, it was bx. Instead of a bx, we have a b parenthesis x minus h plus k. It's okay to have another parenthesis for sine here. So when you look at it, minus h is different, plus k is different. That's additional information than what we did the last lesson. So h is inside the parenthesis along with the theta or along with the x. That's horizontal shift. In trigonometry, horizontal shift, we say phase shift. So depending on value of h, if h is positive, to the right, h is negative, to the left. Be very careful, we have a minus in front of it. Plus k is outside of a parenthesis, that's related to vertical shift. If k is positive, go up. K is negative, shift down. Period to power b, we already practiced from last lesson. So again, phase shift is the one related with inside the parenthesis. So it can be sine b parenthesis x minus h or theta minus h. H is a phase shift. A cosine b parenthesis theta minus h x minus h. H is a phase shift. If h is positive, you move to the right. So they are making an example of a sine function. So that's a sine function graph. And if h is positive, the whole graph, you're moving to the right by that h. If h value is negative, that entire graph of sine will move left by h. So as an example, if you look at y equal to cosine theta minus 90 degree, so compared to original function, which is y equal to cosine theta, so you graph this, whatever that is, you're gonna move to the minus 90 degree. So compare this against this formula. H value here, theta minus h value here is going to be positive 90 degree, not negative 90 degree, because the formula should be x minus h. H is 90 degree, meaning you move right by 90 degree. Phase shifted 90 degree to the right. So in the other sense, if you have this one is example of tangent, y equal to tangent theta plus 30 degree, plus 30 degree, you have to consider that as tangent theta minus 30 degree. because plus is same as double minus. So you know, theta is minus 30 degree, which means you gotta go left by 30 degree. Many case you need to deal with radian, not degree. State the amplitude, period, and phase shift for the function y equal to 2 sine theta plus 20 degree. So as you can see here, you don't have this portion. Plus k outside, it's not there. Meaning there's no vertical shift. Theta plus 20 degree, do you see parentheses there? So that you know you can read h value there. Be careful, h is not 20. Because you can look at that as theta minus 20 degree, double minus. So h value here is minus 20 degree. Meaning phase shift left by 20 degree. Phase shift is minus 20 degree. Usually say phase shift left by 20 degree. That's how I would answer. Amplitude is absolute value of A. So absolute value is 2. Amplitude is amplitude is 2. And the period is exactly same as last lesson. Period you will do 2 pi over absolute value of B. 2 pi over absolute value of B. B, if you look at it, B is a coefficient of theta or x. Number in front of, right in front of theta or x. If you look at it, there's nothing there. There's nothing there, meaning it's 1. B is equal to 1. So, 1 absolute value, which is just 2 pi. 2 pi is a period. Yeah, that is done. So only change from last week is we are just adding phase shift. We already learned amplitude, we already learned how to do period. You should pause it, try this by yourself. So minus means you're going to the left. So when you calculate h value, which is theta minus 30 degree. So h value is minus 30 degree, meaning you go left by 30 degree. Okay, another concept you need to learn is a vertical shift. So from here, vertical shift is related with plus k outside of a parenthesis. So it's either moving up or down. So if k is positive, whatever graph, original graph, moves up by k. Whatever original graph, it moves down by k if k is negative value. Excuse me. So if you have y equal to sine theta plus 4. Plus 4, do you see there's no parenthesis here? Plus 4 is outside. There's no parenthesis, meaning plus 4 is a vertical shift up 4. Y equal to tangent theta minus 3. Again, there's no parenthesis here. So if you have y equal to tangent theta minus 3, that's a phase shift. We are moving left and right. In this case, it's going to move to the right by 3. But there's no parenthesis, meaning it's a vertical shift down by 3. Whatever the graph of that is, you go down by 3. I have not taught you to graph tangent yet. Graph of vertical translations. State the amplitude of vertical shift and equation of the midline for y equal to 1/2 sine theta plus 3, then graph the function. Okay, we are looking at this formula again. Well, that's a sine, here's a cosine, everything else is the same though. You can still use your cosine here, you can use the same thing. So, do you see there's no parenthesis here? So this plus 3 has nothing to do with the phase shift. It has a thing to do with the vertical shift. It's a vertical shift up by 3 because k value is 3. So I say vertical shift vertical shift. They said k equal to 3. I like to say vertical shift up by 3. That's how I usually want you to answer. The middle line is y equal to 3. So I haven't talked about middle line yet. When you graph it, middle line, I call that as a middle line. So everything moves up by 3. So middle line used to be in x-axis, which is y equal to 0. Now everything moves up by 3. Now middle line is y equal to 3. Amplitude doesn't change. Value of A is 1/2. Take absolute value of 1/2. Amplitude is 1/2. Okay, then it's asking you to graph it. So graphing, I'm going to do it here. So if you found amplitude as 1/2, vertical was up by 3, you have to find the period. Period is equal to what? 2 pi absolute of b. Value of b is a coefficient of theta. There's nothing there, meaning b value is 1. 2 pi over absolute value of 1, which is 2 pi. Period is 2 pi. You have to find the one mark. So you divide period by 4, 2 pi by 4. This is a period to be calculated for this question. Divide that by 4 to pi over 2. So here is how you would graph. Do you remember? We usually graph there's a middle line right here. And maximum you can go will be 1/2. So you go 1/2 here, 1/2 down here. That will be maximum 9, minimum 9. It's not more. Because we have a vertical shift up by 3. What does that mean? The line now 1, 2, 3. Middle line goes by 3 here. From the middle line, you can go up by amplitude, down by amplitude. Amplitude is 1/2. You can go up by amplitude here, down by amplitude here. Okay, so previously we only did from the x-axis, we only did maximum 9, minimum 9, and we graphed it between. You might say, why are there 3 lines now? Because previously we had a middle line on x-axis. So I didn't bother to put another line over x-axis. But since there's a vertical shift, you need 3 dotted lines. Middle line here. So you might say, where does that come from? We moved up by 3. From here, 1, 2, 3. So that's a middle line right there. Starting from the middle line, you go up by amplitude, down by amplitude. Amplitude is at 1. So you go up by 1/2, down by 1/2. Everything else will be exactly the same. Do you remember? Cosine graph here, we start from the top. But before you're doing it, you label these tick marks. So fourth tick mark, you label that as 2 pi here. First tick mark would be pi over 2, which is 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2. 4 pi over 2 simplifies 2 pi. 1 pi over 2 is 1 pi over 2. 2 pi over 2 simplified to pi. 3 pi over 2 you cannot simplify. Okay, do you remember? Cosine graph start from the maximum. So start from the x-axis. Maximum you start from the here. Middle you reach middle. Now you hit the minimum. You hit the middle. You hit the maximum. And connect them nicely. And that will be a graph. when you try to graph on the RX, you will need 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So first one is a 0, second one was a pi over 2, third one was pi, fourth one is 3 pi over 2, fifth point you need is 2 pi. Okay, do you remember this one was 3, that was 3 and 3, 1/2 up, so that's 3 and half is 3.5. So since it's a nice decimal, I think it's okay to put 3.5, but always a fraction is better. So I would say 3.5 is what? 3 1/2, which is same as 7/2. So maximum 7/2 here, maximum 7/2 here. So this one will be 2.5, which is 5/2. 5/2 here at the minimum. So you will need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, 2 on the RX.